Hello, so this is a video about what life is like living in a van in New Zealand. So I thought it might be useful to have a video out there of what it's like living in New Zealand as a foreigner, as a backpacker with a working holiday visa. So in general, we've had an amazing time so far. We absolutely love this country. I think if we didn't miss our family and friends, then this is like the sort of country that we would want to live in. I could see us living here easily. The nature is amazing. That's the thing that we love. There's beautiful landscapes everywhere. Like every single day you'll see something that amazes you. If you're traveling around and you see new things, there's something that surprises you. For example, in one place we saw a whole lake of black swans. I think it was near Rotorua in the North Island, and we didn't have a clue they were there. They were just unexpected. There were black swans all over this lake. It was just beautiful, and it was really calm and peaceful. The insects that you can see, like really cool insects that you've never seen before. The birds are really interesting. Like there's so many different birds that I've never seen before. And things like glowworm caves, just things like that are unexpected, that you just see on a daily basis. It's an amazing place if you love nature, camping, all those kind of things. It really is a special place. So I would definitely recommend coming here if you're that type of person. Everyone loves nature, so I think it's a great place for anyone to come. But yeah, we've had a great experience so far. We've found the people to be really friendly and helpful. Like the jobs that we've had, the employers have always been respectful, paid on time, and been helpful with us. So that's been good. So buying a van initially was a little bit difficult. I wouldn't say it was very straightforward. We had to look at quite a few. We had to do a lot of messaging on Facebook, and sometimes it wasn't always straightforward, but it was well worth it. I think the one bit of advice I would give is to just take your time. Go in if you're like desperate to leave and you want to go travelling. That was the problem with us. I think we bought it too quickly. We could have had we could have gotten inspected before buying it, and we could have just bided our time a little bit more, because we would have got a better price, I think, if we did that. And we also could have got one with more space. So that's a bit of advice that I would give you, definitely, if you're going to stay a long period of time. It's so important that you get a comfy bed, a comfy van that's got everything you need, because you're going to be in it such a long time. But other than that, travelling around the country in a van is just so handy. There's loads of places you can park up. We use an app called Campermate and Rankers. We actually use Rankers more than Campermate. We find that useful. It shows you all of the places you can camp for free. I'll put that in the description, the app that we're using. So that shows you the free camps that you can use that are restricted. You can't just camp anywhere in your van. You can't park up anywhere. You have to be in a place that's designated area. Because there are so many camper vans here, there really are a lot. Like when you're driving on the road, you'll see other campers all the time. You do need to get to the campsites early enough to get spaces during peak season. So that would be around November to March. So make sure you get there on time, otherwise you're not going to get a space. And then if you're going down to like a remote area, some of the roads are really long and windy, and you've used a lot of petrol to get those spaces, so you don't want to get there and there's not a space. So you've got to be prepared with that, definitely. Also, just travelling around, there's not always going to be a hot shower at these campsites, so sometimes you will have to have cold showers, and you do get used to that. So that's definitely been something different for us to get used to. We do have a self-contained camp green sticker on the back of our van, and that's what's required here to stay in the freedom camps. And that allows us to stay in ones that don't have a toilet. Most of them do have toilets, the campsites shared with the other people, but a lot of them are pretty grim, to be honest. But you do need to get used to that as well. We'd rather not use a toilet. If your van's self-contained, it should have a toilet in it. We'd rather not use the toilet. We've hardly used it, because it's just like last resort. If there's no toilets around, then yeah. So they have long drop toilets, a lot of the campsites. So it's not flushable, it's just a big pit at the bottom. So it's pretty grim, some of them. They've got like loads of flies in the toilets. So that is something to bear in mind if you're thinking of travelling around in a van. In terms of the social aspect, so you can if you're driving around in a camper and you're going to all the freedom camps, there will be loads of other backpackers in the same camp. So if you just leave your doors open, chat to people, hand out a beer, it's very easy to make friends that way, and people are extremely friendly. I think if you're the sort of person that struggles to make the first interaction, you could go about the whole trip with not really speaking to many people if you're on your own. So I do think you've got to step out your comfort zone and try and speak to people. I think the best way for us, George and I can be a bit shy at times, and we don't necessarily want to make the first move of chatting to people all the time, but once we're comfortable with people, we can make friends that way. And we found that the best way making friends here, because, well, when we're working actually, so if you're working with people for a longer period of time and living with them, it's easy to make friends that way. So because you're always with them. For example, we did our first job blueberry picking, was in a holiday park with lots of other people in a kitchen. That was very social because there was always things to do with other people. We planned activities together, like we had a football match, and went to the bar together. There was like loads of people there. That was amazing, and probably the most social part that we've had. And in terms of the types of people you meet, you tend to meet, if you're doing this kind of thing with the van, living in a van, you tend to meet people from other countries, and not as many Kiwis. I think the Kiwis that we've met have been people that we're working for or in shops. Actually, we sat in a restaurant. The Kiwis they're very friendly and social, and we were just sat in a restaurant, and a couple were sitting next to us, and they were eating their dinner next to us. They just offered us to come and stay at their house. They were that nice that the lady was a nurse working in Canterbury from near where I live in England, and then she just offered us to go and stay there if we want to. But the people are just so friendly, and yeah, it's that in a way is quite different to home. People are friendly at home, of course, but it's not as usual to just invite people round to yours to come and stay. That would be a little bit more rare, but I think that is the way that people are out here. So in terms of woofing, that is where is work in exchange for accommodation and food. So that is quite common out here. You'll just go and stay at somebody's house. We did that once. We stayed at his house, did a bit of gardening for him, the guy. He was actually from England. And then in exchange for staying at his house, so that was quite nice to do as another option of getting out of the van for a bit, really, because it does get a bit tiring. The negatives of living in a van, would definitely be comfort wise. We regretted I regret massively. George isn't as bothered, but I get bad back, so we wish we would have got a fixed mattress in the van, because that way it's a lot more comfortable. The one we've got at the moment is like a spongy thing. We've got 2 layers because we went and bought another one to go on top, to make it more comfortable. But yeah, it does squish down after, and it's just, I think it's making my back a little bit worse. So that's not ideal. And the storage space, we wish we didn't bring as much stuff, because we definitely don't need as much stuff. You might have noticed I'm wearing like the same stuff quite regularly. You just wear what's comfortable and what's it's always the way, isn't it? You pack, for me anyway, I pack too much stuff and then regret it. And I can't get rid of anything either. I'm terrible at getting rid of my clothes. I think, oh, I want to keep that for when I get home, and yeah. But bring minimal stuff, because you can buy clothes if you need it in op shops. So out here they call their charity shops op shops, and they're quite popular. They're like a lot of places. You can buy pretty much anything you need in there for cheap, and then you could just give it back to charity again at the end, although I probably struggle with that. But yeah, so there's that. But overall, I would say that living in a van has been like amazing. It's so easy to drive across New Zealand. Everything's quite close together, like it is in England, really. But it is a great way to get around. There's not a lot of public transport, trains. I don't think there are many trains here. So it's 100% one of the best ways to get around, and I think that's why there's so many camper vans here. But you're just driving around down the road and you just see incredible landscapes just everywhere, and nature, and we just absolutely love it. So we can't recommend it enough if you're thinking about doing this kind of thing. If you enjoyed that video or you found out some useful advice, please do like it and then subscribe to my channel, so that will motivate me to make some more videos of this kind. Thank you. Bye.